this video, I'm going to give you an example of solving a genetics problem where there is codominance, and that means that two alleles present affect the phenotype in distinct ways. So what we've seen up until now is usually, like in flower color, the the dominant allele, so in the case of peas, the one that makes the purple pigment, makes pigment, whereas the recessive allele doesn't do anything. It doesn't make any pigment. In this case, with codominance, we have two alleles that are both making different proteins, that are both coding for different proteins. And the example we're going to look at is ABO blood type, and this is also an example of a gene in humans where we have more than two alleles. We actually have three different versions of this gene within the human population. Okay, so ABO blood type, we've got two non-identical alleles that can be expressed at the same time. And those alleles are A and B, with O being recessive. So A and B actually code for enzymes that bind different membrane glycolipids to our red blood cells, whereas the O allele codes for none. So this is where this is how we determine someone's phenotype. Do they have type A blood? Do they have type B blood? Do they have type AB blood? Or do they have type O blood? It's based on the presence of the A and B or O alleles within their blood cells. So if you have type A blood, you either have the genotype big A, or big A and O. So that recessive allele is going to be masked, just like it typically is with complete dominance. If you have type B blood, your genotype is either big B, or big B and O. So again, the O is recessive to A and B. If you have type AB blood, then that means you have one A and one B allele. You're what's known as the universal receiver. So your immune system is used to seeing red blood cells with both the A and B glycolipids on the outside. So you can get blood from anyone, and your immune system shouldn't destroy the cells. Type O blood means that your genotype is OO. These people are known as the universal donors because their red blood cells don't have any of these, don't have A or B glycolipids on the outside. So that means that they could donate this blood to anyone. And there's nothing here that their immune system will respond to. So I'm going to show you a cross where we're crossing an individual, two individuals who are heterozygous for this trait. Looks like here the male is AO and the female is BO. We're going to see that these individuals could have offspring who have type A blood, type AB blood, type B blood, or type O blood. So any of the different blood types. So I have here those parents, AO and BO, but I also wanted to show you that sometimes this particular gene is denoted differently. Sometimes you'll see I superscript big A and little I for somebody who's heterozygous and they're type A. And sometimes you'll see I big B superscript little I for someone who is heterozygous and type B blood. So this is, I don't know, maybe easier, or maybe more confusing. It is at least showing the dominant allele being capitalized and the recessive allele lowercase. It doesn't matter how you want to think about this. The square is going to be set up the same either way. In this case, this parent has two alleles, an A and an O. So their gametes will either contain a big A or an O. The other parent has two alleles as well, a capital B and an O. So we set up the square like this. We do the cross where we're showing the fusion of these gametes and the production of diploid offspring. And this should show us how on the previous slide, these parents produced offspring that could have any of the four blood types. So here we see AB blood type, here we see B blood type, here we see type A, and here we see O in a 1-to-1 to 1-to-1 ratio. So again, this is an example of codominance because A and B are both doing something to the red blood cells. And it's also an example of a gene where there are more than two alleles, A, B, and O in this case. Thanks for watching.